Welcome to Amplifying Leadership and Thursday with me, Tara Lehman. I am a partner coach and consultant at Twin Life Coaching and Business Services, of which Amplifying Leadership is our division. I hope to bring you some information or a key takeaway today that you can use to build, enhance, or grow those leadership skills. Goals are always a hot topic, especially in January of each year for leaders or during those performance appraisals that you're giving to your employees or even your appraisal. Goals get set, and that sometimes is all that happens. The next year rolls around and those goals, they're all missed or forgotten. Perhaps they were your goals as a leader that got missed or forgotten, or those of your employees. This tip is going to share all those things to avoid that can stop a goal from actually happening. So first and foremost, you set the goal for yourself with your leader or as a leader with your employees, and that's it. The meeting's done, you walk away. Nothing else is done. No follow-up, no due dates. That goal is likely to be forgotten. And if it is, for the next year and that employee is relying on that goal to take place so that they get a better increase or salary, etc., and no one does anything with that goal and they just walk away, guess what? As a leader, you are the person responsible for making sure you're helping them and asking them what they need in order to achieve their goals. And the employee is absolutely accountable as well of making sure that they ask you. But having those one-on-one meetings, you can always follow up with those goals, or even a quarterly meeting to see if they need anything or if there's any roadblocks or struggles that they have or that you might have if it's your goal. The next thing is that if you do set follow-up and due dates to get things done throughout the year to ensure this goal can take place, a lot of times that follow-up is missed. So perhaps you say, okay, so in the first quarter, we're going to meet March 29th to review this goal and see where you're at, make sure there's no issues, etc. And then that follow-up doesn't take place before the due date. So if you give them something that'll help them achieve their goal in quarter one, and beginning of March, you don't say to them, so just checking in to see how you're doing, if there's anything you need to get quarter one's task done, and you wait until the due date and it's not done, everybody's put back. So make sure if you set due dates that you or someone who is a follow-up accountability person is making sure things follow up before those due dates, even for the tasks throughout the year if it is an annual goal. Goals get missed sometimes because there's no person accountable or person responsible for checking in. So, for example, if this is your goal with the board of directors or your CEO, and you don't have somebody to remind you to check in or to remind you of due dates, that person who will motivate you to get task one done, you may not do it. Again, it's all the same thing of being forgotten. Find somebody who can help keep you accountable to your goals, and you need to be that person for your employees. Most leaders have a leadership coach to help them with these day-to-day things or with helping them achieve their goals so that they can succeed. You need to be that person for your employees. Help them succeed with their goals. And if it's not you and you have an executive assistant, make sure that person is following up, asking them to provide you with an update, maybe a few weeks before that first quarter task is due, for example. Another big issue with goals not being actually done or completed is because the goal is just way too big. Let's say you have a salesperson and you're setting a goal with them for an increase year over year. And the market's saying 5%, but you give them a goal of 50% increase year over year. You might be setting them for failure from the beginning. Now, don't get me wrong, we want stretch goals for sure, but they can't be so out of the way of being achieved that everyone's just going to say, well, it's never going to happen, so I give up. Make sure that goal is going to be able to be achieved with a small stretch. So if your 5% year over year is your overall goal, maybe you give them between 6 and 10%. And maybe that gets adjusted if the market changes. Another big problem is that the goal isn't relevant to either you as a leader, to the organization, or to the employee. If the goal has no purpose behind it and no one really understands why the goal is there, why would anyone bother to do it? For example, with the 5% year over year, if we give somebody a goal of, I want you to go and purchase 10 widgets for research and development, what does that have to do with the overall goal? What does that have to do with them? Maybe it's really important, maybe it's not, and they have no purpose or understanding of why they need to do it. Make sure the goal is relevant. And the last big one is my favorite. I love to share with so many clients. I hear the excuse all the time, I don't have time. Let me put something into perspective for you. Time does not change. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's all you get. You can't change it. You don't run out of time. It's about how you manage your time. If you're finding the excuse of time coming up over and over again, you need to look at, is the goal too big? Were there other priorities, urgent priorities that came up within the organization, and maybe this goal needs to be adjusted? Or are you managing your time well in your calendar? Are you doing things you don't need to be doing? Check back on those last Tip Thursdays I've given. A lot of things on emails and, wasted meetings. Time is never an excuse. If you find yourself saying, I didn't have enough time, reframe that to saying, what did I do with my time? Or is that goal just too much? Be honest with that, though. Don't say it's too much because you have 4 meetings about the same thing weekly. That means you have 3 meetings you can get rid of. Okay? All right. And when setting goals for yourself or your employees, make sure they're SMART goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and resourced and time-bound. And use those tools that are out there, such as a SWOT analysis, where you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats. Create action plans and follow up. That is a big one. Follow up. And remember, no excuse of time. If you do need help, contact me. I have tons of experience helping leaders and employees to set goals that actually work. All right, that is our Tip Thursday with Tara for this week. As a reminder, our Amplifying Leadership community can help you through challenges such as goal setting with our groups, our resources, challenges, questions, all those types of things, including some short pre-recorded courses. All so that we can bring you a community of individuals who do believe in what you believe as leadership and everything that does come with that. You can find more about the community and all of our coaching and consulting services and other programs at amplifyingleadership.ca, a Twin Life Coaching and Business Services division. To see all about us, you can find us as Twin Life Coaching and Business Services on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and our YouTube handle at Twin Life Coaching. Until next time, please be safe and be an amazing leader or leader to be.